Good morning. Today we're learning a new grammar class. It's found on booklet number 3, pages 7, 8. I will upload everything for you if it is not with you. Active and passive. This is our new lesson for today. And I know that this is the first time you hear such a rule that called active and passive. To know how to do the passive form, we need to know what is the active form. We need to understand what is the active form, and then we will know how to transform the active form into passive. So, what is active? When I say active sentence, he plays football, or the cat drank the milk. The men built a house. He played football. So simply, the active sentence is a normal sentence that starts with a subject, and then verb, and then object. So, any normal sentence that has a meaningful thought, and it starts with who or what, the subject, and then it has a main or action verb, and then it tells the object, this is an active sentence. So what is the active sentence? The active sentence is the normal sentence we always use and we always write. He is my subject. Plays is the verb. Football is the object. The cat is the subject. Drank is the verb. The milk is the object. The men is the subject. Build is the verb. A house is the object. So, this is my active form of a sentence. So if I want to define the active sentence, I'll say the active sentence is the normal sentence that has subject, verb, object, SVO. Okay? But what is the passive? And what do we need to focus on when we talk about active and passive form? The first thing we need to focus on is what is the active sentence that I already told you about. Active sentence, SVO, subject, verb, object. Number 2, you need to focus on the tense of the verb. Look at the verb here, plays, and the verb here, build, the verb played, the verb drank. What is the difference? Simply, when I say plays, it is a verb in the present tense, but played is a verb in the past tense. Build is a verb in the present tense. Drank is a verb in the past tense. So, with the active and the passive voice that we are learning in this class, the verb of the sentence should be either in the present or in the past. What is the present? To remember the present says something like a daily routine or a habit. The rule says he, she, it, and the singular subject take S with the verb. I, we, they, you do not take S with the verb. So I sleep, you sleep, but he sleeps, she sleeps, it sleeps. Okay? If I want to make a negative from the present simple, for the subjects that has S, for the subjects that have no S with the verb, they take don't in the negative. So I sleep, I don't sleep. You sleep, you don't sleep. With the verbs that have S, in the negative we add doesn't, and we cross the S from the verb, because doesn't took the S. He sleeps, he doesn't sleep. She sleeps, she doesn't sleep. For the question, if my verb doesn't have S, I start my question with do. I sleep, I don't sleep. Do I sleep? If my verb has an S, we put does. He sleeps, he doesn't sleep. Does he sleep? So, I'm just giving you a brief revision for the present simple to know what do I mean when I say my verb is in the present tense. The present tense means my verb either takes S when the subject is singular or no S when my subject is plural. The past tense says you only add ed to the verb if it is regular, and you change the verb totally if it is irregular. I worked. We worked. It worked. For the negative, we add didn't. I didn't work. For the question, we add did. Did I work? So when I see ed or didn't or did, or I see a verb which is irregular in the past, it means all of these are past tense. So like for example, think, in the past it is thought. Drink, drank. And when I see a verb with either S or no S, affirmative, it is present simple. So let's go back. He plays football. It is clear for you now that plays is a verb in the present tense. He played football. It is also clear for you that played is a verb in the past tense, right? So, two things we knew so far. Number one, what is the meaning of active sentence? Active sentence means a normal sentence starts with a subject and then verb and then object. SVO. Which tenses we need to focus on in this grammar rule? We need to focus on the verb when it is present or when it is past. Okay? So, we just need to know what is the passive. We knew the active form, but what is the passive? I'll give you an example. You did a big mistake. Okay? Your father came to see what happened. He asked your brother what happened. Your brother doesn't want to tell him that you did a mistake. So he doesn't want to say Ahmed did a mistake. So he just say a mistake was done. He didn't mention the subject of the sentence. So when I say passive, it means there is no subject of my sentence. How? Let's know how. When I said he plays football, in the passive form, I just put it as this. Football is played by him. When I said he played football, I put it in the passive form as football was played by him. Do you understand anything until now? Absolutely no. So, he plays football. Football is played by him. He played football. Football was played by him. So what is the passive? I didn't get it. So let's see what is the passive voice. Okay. So we are going to know what is the passive voice and how to make my sentence passive when the verb is in the present and when the verb is in the past. Let's start. My sentence says, cocoa beans make chocolate. This is an active sentence because it has S, V, O. Subject, verb, object. Cocoa beans, subject. Make, verb. Chocolate, object. Make is a verb in the present tense. It is not past. Okay. So, this sentence is active because it follows the normal pattern for active sentences. Subject, verb, object. SVO. Right? Okay. What if we start the sentence with chocolate? Okay, focus here. The sentence says, cocoa beans make chocolate. What if I take the object of my sentence and I put it at the beginning? What will happen? See, what am I doing? I will take the object and I'll put it as a subject. I'll put it as at the beginning of my sentence. Chocolate is made from cocoa beans. This sentence now is not active. It is not active voice. It is called passive. Why? What did I do? Okay, now when I said cocoa beans make chocolate, I have a sentence with subject, verb, object. What did I do is, I took the object from my sentence and I put it at the beginning. Okay? I changed the verb. The verb was make. I put it as is made. And then I added the preposition from, and then at the end I added the subject. Chocolate is made from cocoa beans. So my object came at the beginning. The verb that was in the present is changed. How? I added verb to be, is, and then I added the verb in the past participle. Make, made, made. Then I added the preposition from, and then I added the subject. This is what we call a passive form. When I say passive, I simply take the object from the end of the sentence and I put it at the beginning of the sentence. So chocolate was the last word of the sentence. It was my object. I took it to be at the beginning. I took it to put it at the beginning of the sentence. I took it as an object, but at the beginning of the sentence. The verb was make. It was in the present tense. I changed it by adding verb to be. Verb to be in the present is am, are, right? Chocolate is singular, so it takes is. Of course, we can say chocolate are or chocolate am, chocolate is. I added verb to be, and then the verb make, I put it in the past participle, which is made. At the end of my sentence, I took the subject and I put it. So I switched the object with the subject. Chocolate is made from cocoa beans. So, this is the form of the passive when my verb is in the present. So look at the sentence in the active form. My sentence in the active form, cocoa beans make chocolate. Look at the verb. The verb was make. Make is present. When I want to put this active sentence to be passive, in the present tense, I have to put verb to be in the present, is or am or are, and then I follow it with the same verb make, but I put it in the past participle. So I can't say make because make is present. I have to say it in the past participle. Make in the present, made in the past, made in the past participle. Make, made, made. So I put it as past participle. Okay, another example. Who discovered America? Who? Do you know who discovered America? Columbus, right? Okay, my sentence is Columbus discovered America. This is an active sentence. Why? Because subject, verb, object. Simply, right? If I want to put it in the passive form, I will take America and I'll put it at the beginning. And I'll take Columbus, I put it at the end. So the object will be on the subject place. The subject will be on the object place. I switch. What about the verb? Okay, I told you if the verb is in the present tense, you put is, am, are, and then you put the verb in the past participle. But now my verb is in the past tense because it is discovered with ed. So how do I change the verb in the past tense to be passive? Simply, when my verb is in the past tense and I want to make it passive, I will write was or were. So instead of saying is or am or are, I have to say was or were because my verb was in the past. And then I put my verb in the past participle. Okay. So, America was discovered by Columbus. So what is the form of the passive? The form of the passive tells you if your verb in the active is in the present tense, put verb to be is or am or are, and then put your verb in the past participle. Switch between the subject and the verb and the object. Put the object at the beginning and put the subject at the end. In the past tense, if your verb in the active form is past, what you need to do is add was or were and then put the verb in the past participle. America was discovered by Columbus. Switch between the subject and the object. Put the object at the beginning of the sentence and the subject at the end of the sentence. Always, when you say the sentence, America was discovered by Columbus, before you add the subject at the end, you can use by. So, by. For example, Ahmad made a mistake. In the passive form we say, a mistake was made by Ahmad. So before the subject, when I put it at the end, I have to use by. Okay, now all in all, why do we use the passive form? Why do we change the sentence from active to passive? Like, for example, when Ahmad made a mistake and my father came, instead of telling him, Ahmad made a mistake, I said, a mistake was made. Why I use the passive form? Number one, because I want to focus on the object more than the subject. When I said, cocoa beans make chocolate, the important part of my sentence is chocolate, the object. So I need to focus on the object, on chocolate. So I said, chocolate is made from cocoa beans. So why do I use the passive form? Because I want to focus on the object more than the subject. Number two, if my subject is not important, or I don't want to know it, I don't want to know the subject, so no need to use the active. I can use the passive. So, her bag was stolen. I don't know who stole it, so I can't say, or I don't need to say that someone stole her bag. No need, because I don't know who is my subject. Because my subject is unknown, so I can use the passive by saying, her bag was stolen. By who? By someone. I don't know him. Or, English is spoken in the UK. Of course, people speak UK because people speak English. Of course, not the laptops or the computers. Of course, people, because people are the ones who speak, right? So I don't know. I don't have to say people speak English in the UK. I can say English is spoken in the UK. Because I already know that people speak, so no need to mention it. If the subject is obvious, it is super clear, I can use the passive form because it is not important to say it. For example, the thief was arrested. Who arrests thieves? Of course, the policeman, right? So it's a common sense that the police is the one who arrests. So instead of saying the policeman arrested the thief, I say the thief was arrested. And it is a common sense that I will know that the policemen are the ones who arrested. Okay, so that's all about the passive form. I'll show you more examples so we can focus more on it. Okay, my sentence says, the dog chased the boy, right? This is an active sentence. Why active? Because I know the subject. The dog did it. The dog is the one who did the verb. The dog, subject, chased. Verb, the boy, object. Active sentence. When I have to make it passive, I simply take the object. So I take the object, I put it at the beginning. Okay, so okay, it doesn't work. Whatever, okay. So I take the object. What is my object? The boy. I put it at the beginning. The boy. And then what do I have? The verb. What is the verb? Chased. Is my verb in the present or the past? It is in the past. When it is in the past and I want to make it passive, I have to put was or were plus the past participle. So the passive says, if your verb in the present and you want to make it passive, add is or am or are plus the verb in the past participle. If your verb is in the past, what do you need to do is add was or were plus the verb in the past participle. So let's follow this rule to answer this question or this sentence. The dog chased the boy. The boy is my object. I want to make it the passive form. I take the object, I put it at the beginning. And then look at your verb. The verb is in the past tense. So what is the change I have to make when my verb is in the past tense? I have to add was or were. Okay, the boy is singular. So does it take was or were? It takes was. It is singular. And then I take the verb itself. I put it in the past participle. What is the past participle of a chase? Chased. So the boy was chased. And then which preposition I add? By. By who? By the dog. That's it. So, number 1. Take the object, put it at the beginning of the sentence. Change the verb. If your verb in the present, add is or am or are, and then add the verb in the past participle. If your verb in the past tense, add was or were, and then add your verb in the past participle. And then write the preposition by, and then add the subject at the end. My question is it a must to write this part? So, is it necessary that I have to mention the subject at the end? Is it important to say by and then the subject? No, this is not a must. Why? Because I told you if Ahmed did a mistake or Ahmed made a mistake, okay, and I don't want my dad to know this, so I just say a mistake was done. Do I have to say by Ahmed? If I say a mistake was done by Ahmed, so my father will know. But I don't want my father to know, so I just say a mistake was done. So this part at the end, by plus the subject, is not a must. It is not necessary. It is like we can put it or we cannot put it. It's up to you, okay? So that's all about the passive form. Again and again and again. More examples. She teaches Spanish. Active sentence. Subject, verb, object. Okay, let's put the rule in front of us so we don't forget it. Okay. She teaches Spanish, right? This is my active sentence. Why it is active? Because it has subject, verb, object. SVO. What do I have to take first? Number 1, I have to take the object. What is the object? The object is Spanish. So the first part of my passive is the word Spanish because Spanish is the object of the sentence. Spanish. Look at the verb. My verb is my verb in present or past? Take a look at it. Okay. The verb is teaches, right? Teaches. Is it present or past? Of course, it is present. It finishes with S. Okay. What do we add? Do we say Spanish is, Spanish am, Spanish are? Definitely is. So Spanish is. Teaches. The verb is teach. Oh, I wrote it wrong. Okay. The verb is teach. Right? What is the past participle of teach? Teach, taught, taught. So the past participle of teach is taught. So Spanish is taught by who? She. My question is, do I write she as it is here or I change it? Of course I change it because she is a subject pronoun because it came at the beginning. But when it comes at the end of the sentence, it should be object pronoun. What is the object pronoun of she? Her. So Spanish is taught by her. If you're asking me why did we change the pronoun from she to her, simply because she here is used as a subject pronoun because it came at the beginning of the sentence. But here it came after the verb, it came at the end. So I should write an object pronoun. The object pronoun of she is her. Okay, what if I write he? Do I say Spanish is taught by he or I change he? I change he to object pronoun. What is the object pronoun of he? Him. So Spanish is taught by him. Okay, what if I put they? They teach Spanish. So Spanish is taught by they or Spanish is taught by them? Of course, them, because the object pronoun of they, them. So Spanish is taught by them. Okay? I hope you understand this. If you don't get the idea of the passive form, send me a message so I can answer your questions anytime. Have a nice day and good luck for you all.